Welcome to Be a Hero podcast, where we talk to inspiring leaders and explore life-changing methods you can use to uncover your unique superpowers, improve your life, and be the hero that is hiding within you. To learn more about our eco-friendly yoga collection and our projects, visit yoga-hero.com.
Okay, welcome back, everybody, and thanks for joining us again. My name is Lee, and we're here with Yoga Heroes Be a Hero podcast, where we interview everyday heroes to inspire us, maybe find a little bit of methodology that we can apply to our lives, and maybe find the hero within ourselves. So today we're here with Melissa out of Munich. And Melissa, you have a very great and amazing studio that I wanted to share and talk to you about and hear more about the things that you're doing, what makes it different, because especially from the yoga scene and background, I think it's very important to find maybe differentiations in different studios and what makes it special. So thanks again for joining us. It's good to have you.
Thanks for having me. Hi.
Hi. And yeah, just tell me a little bit about you and your studio if you would like to introduce yourself.
Sure. Okay, I'm Melissa Ryzek. I moved to Munich in 2012. I came here not intending to have a yoga studio, but that eventually came to fruition. So thank you for saying that about my studio. It's something that I've built and I love, and I've gotten a lot of feedback just in the past week that the energy here is great, and so it feels really good that other people feel that too. So to go to what makes us special at the Munich Collective, I would say that I think a small boutique style studio is first of all, like what makes us a little special. I like to know everybody's name when they're coming in the door, meet them, greet them, and I want them to feel good. I want them to be happy when they're here. But also I have really gotten the expat clientele or audience, and it's turned into a place where expats feel comfortable to come here and take a class in English, but also Germans that lived abroad and or in the States and took classes there that they miss the familiar similarities between my classes and their classes. And so that's been, I guess that would be how I set myself apart with other studios. Not that other studios don't offer some classes in English, but mainly our classes are in English.
So it's very welcoming for the community, and the boutique style makes it feel like more homey and comfortable for people to come.
I would say yes.
Awesome. And what about, I saw that you have very fun workshops and classes. So it's not just your typical yoga and bar, but you have kids yoga and dancing and things like that. So can you share what made you want to try out different classes, or if it's popular or cool, or how it worked through the process?
Sure. So the idea behind the Munich Collective is that it's a rentable space. So I wanted to not only be a studio owner and have classes, but I wanted other people to come in and kind of build up this community aspect, offering different crafts and events and workshops and kind of learning from one another, encouraging one another. So that's, there's kind of two sides to the studio. There's me as the teacher and the instructor, and then there's me as kind of this community builder where I want to offer really cool things here. And so it was not just family-based center. I wanted the individual to come here and feel comfortable too. So yeah, there's kids dance classes, kids yoga classes. There has been a women entrepreneurial group that comes and uses the space, and they have events. And I've also got some larger organizations that use the studio as their center. I have a woman that built up her dance school here for kids, and that's been really, really exciting to kind of support people and to make this rentable aspect easy. And I want people to walk in and feel like it's their studio. I'm not here greeting them. They have access to the keyless entry. They come in, they can use the space. And I feel like that's really was my goal, is what I wanted to offer that to somebody, because I didn't have that coming here to Munich, and I didn't know, where could I access that and without knowing the language really great. And so I tried to make that easy. And it's turned out to be pretty easy. I think at the highest point, before the last year, I had 10 teachers and different events happening every month. And it was really exciting. So I'm hoping to get back to that.
Cool. Yeah, it sounds great. It's definitely one of the biggest challenges here in Munich, I think, with space and sharing space, or the rental market.
Yeah.
So it's awesome that you're able to share that with others and build this kind of community to help others grow. Awesome. Okay, so I think that kind of answered my next question of why you wanted to start a studio. You said at first that you weren't planning on opening a studio at all, but was it more of the challenges of finding this kind of space and feeling comfortable? This is the backstory of what made you to come to this idea or dream of yours.
So it's funny, because when I was the first 4 years that I lived in Munich, I was traveling back to the States for work. So my background is nursing. I'm a registered nurse, working in Minnesota, and my specialty here in Germany is actually something that physicians do. So I wasn't able to continue my career here, kind of, making that lateral move. I would have taken a major decrease in responsibility. And so I wasn't interested in doing that. So I kept going back to the States and working about 3-4 times a year. And then we grew our family, and it was just getting to the point where I couldn't keep traveling with 2 small children and keeping up that. I had 2 different jobs. It was crazy. I had 2 different jobs in Minnesota, but I was living here, and I would go and work and kind of cover vacations, cover illnesses and things on the teams, because I was in pretty small teams. And so anyways, it kind of came to a point where I realized I had to end that. And I actually found the space before I really decided on what I wanted to do with the space, which is really interesting, because I think it doesn't go like that usually. But I think in a place like Munich, where real estate, like you said, and space is hard to come by. So we had actually, with the help of my mother-in-law, found this space and knew it was a great location. It had a really nice feel about it walking in. And we thought, okay, we'll make this investment and see what happens. And so my original thought was a community center. But then I realized after this idea, we have to start somewhere. And so I started with, okay, I need to teach and get people in the door and advertising. And then it just turned into me teaching a ton and gaining a following, but also realizing how much I love teaching. I mean, I was really, when I moved here, I did teach some private classes, but there's a difference between teaching a private class maybe once a week, and that's it, to teaching every day and having students. And I fell in love with it. And I realized that, yes, I missed many aspects of my nursing career with connecting to people and nurturing people and caring for them. There's something that I get with teaching in that same way, because that's really my teaching philosophy, is to really be down to earth and approachable. Just meeting somebody on the eye level, but also getting to nurture them and take care of them. And so that's kind of where it came from. It's funny, because it was like we found a place and we became what we became, but here we are.
That's cool. Sometimes it happens like that. So it doesn't always have to be a fixed process. I mean, people sometimes have this goal, but when things also naturally happen to you too, and it not falls on your lap, but this idea you find and it works out, it's great too.
Yeah, process. Right. It's not always so simple and clear. Right?
Yeah, like A to B to C, but sometimes you have to trust your intuition.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, it's okay. You never lived how so?
I would say I never really followed the straight path with any aspect of my life. So it
Yeah,
makes
it
sense
sounds like it. I
that it would
mean, I
be
had
this
no
way.
idea you were going back and forth. That sounds like so crazy and chaotic. So it's really crazy you're able to do that,
It
at
was,
least for however long it lasted.
it
I
was
struggle
great.
already with one location, one city.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't have a career here. So
yeah.
when I came back to Munich, it would be a little bit more of a relaxed, I was at
Okay. The
a house
downtime.
working, not really downtime because I had a small child and I was learning German and things like that, but I wasn't
Mm,
in the workforce. And then
yeah.
I would go back, but really
Yeah.
there were lots of great aspects to it because I still kept my life, my professional
Hmm.
life and my social life back in America. And even though I had been here for 4+ years, but I never
See.
really fully arrived here too. So
Mm.
there was kind of like this,
Like sitting in the middle, like tipping
yeah,
back and forth.
yeah,
Yeah, when
yeah.
you said you had 2 jobs, it's not I thought you meant like you had 2 lives because it sounds like you had like double you're living double lives here.
No, no, I had 2 jobs in Minnesota. So
Yeah, crazy.
I just had 2 different separate nursing positions that I would do the
Yeah,
same thing for, but in different hospitals. Anyways.
so crazy. Okay, so it explains a lot, like at least the process. It's very interesting. Cool. Okay, so I guess from there, maybe I ask what your biggest challenges were. It sounded like coming to the idea was easy, and then it became very successful, but maybe along the way, we can talk about COVID or favorite topic, or just in general, like what the biggest challenges or biggest growth that you were able to overcome, or if you're still overcoming them. Yeah, maybe
So
what's
I would
next.
say in the beginning, the biggest challenges were having people know we're here. And
Hmm.
really, like, advertising seemed a bit different from what I knew from in America versus
Yeah.
here. I mean, here people literally went to their neighbors and gave them flyers and wanted,
Yeah.
to like hand out to their other customers coming in. And I realized, like, hey, this is the neighborhood way. And but that was eye opening. But it was great
Mhm.
because then I got to meet the other businesses around. And so it was really, it was really helpful and
Yeah.
a nice process because now I know the
Mhm.
businesses around and I can recommend their business to my clients and vice versa. But I would say the
Mhm.
biggest challenges of opening the space was that it was really just and building up a reputation. Nobody knew me. Who is Melissa as this yoga teacher or bar instructor, or that takes time to build up and get an audience, and also reaching out to a lot of the expat communities. You'll find that you have a client, and then their situation changes or their contract's up, and they move away. So you're
Yeah.
like, and it's like, but it's a challenge, but it comes with pros and cons. So we have, I say we all the time, but it's me. So I guess I've gained an audience. I have regular clients, and I've had other people find me, and I'm always so curious, how did you find me? How
Yeah.
did you hear about us? And it's so many different ways, like
Yeah.
somebody came in and they became a regular teacher, and they found me from one of my flyers in a coffee shop that I put next to the kindergarten that my kid goes to. And I was just like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And other people found me by a deep Google search. I mean, in the beginning, it was like you couldn't even find me if you searched English yoga class Schwabing Belgradstrasse. It was like you still
And
couldn't find
Munich
me.
Collective, and it still wouldn't come up.
Yeah, the Munich Collective. And no, there was some other business that was it was a container company that was using the Munich
Oh
collection
yeah.
or something. It was
Yeah.
really funny. I was like, oh God, we picked a
The
bad
Container
name.
Collective.
Yeah, but it worked out. And I would
Yeah.
say that, opening the studio, so I opened in the end of 2018. And so we really, and I say we in this sense because there were other teachers teaching at that time, we really gained a big audience just as Corona was hitting. And so it was like wait lists for our classes, people waiting at the door to see if somebody would show up so they could participate. And And then Corona happened. And so I kind of had to keep reminding myself where we've gotten to, because with the past year, I mean, we took a huge hit. And so I just hoping we get back to that. But I think we will. I feel like we'll get there, but it's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Definitely. Very difficult, especially the past year. But seeing where everybody was before and then reminding yourself that it's like almost not the end of the tunnel, but like very easy to just, as soon as things get normal, it kind of jumps back where it was before. Yeah. And also you kind of learn a lot of things to stay on top of everything, and however you change to integrate, like all of these things apply for this new world that we're coming into as well. But it's very cool.
I would say that it was really, when we had the first lockdown and then we opened in June, and watching how people adapted to this new distance and masks, and it was really amazing to me, just seeing, and my children too, how quickly as humans, if you're open-minded, how you can just adapt and change, like that to me was really, really eye-opening. And I always brought it up to my clients coming in the door, where I was just like, you guys, we're doing this. This is amazing. We didn't shut down. We didn't, we're not crying on our floor. We're here. We're doing it. Yeah. And so it was, you got to take what you can, right?
Yeah, for sure. No, it's crazy to see how adaptable we are, how quick people can be, how much we can endure, like as business owners, I think, or entrepreneurs or self-employed, like that whole market, everybody just hustling 10 times 10 and just making it out and like surviving however you can.
Yeah. And sometimes being your own cheerleader. Being in this, entrepreneurial world, and I think there's a lot of that where you have to remind yourself, hey, what are we working towards? And giving yourself that self-talk of, keep going, you're doing great.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. I like how you say, like, just reminding yourself where you were right before. It's very simple. I think everybody was on the same trajectory of it takes a while to get well known and to be happy where you are. And I think whether it was maybe COVID that made us realize like it's always grass is greener, or like you maybe take for granted what you had before. So in this situation where things were successful, like at least for me, I probably don't know whether I would have appreciated as much as I do now, when like things are super shaken up and back and forth, up and down. And to look back to see like, okay, that was good. Now it's good. Like, who knows what's going to happen, but just enjoy it while it lasts. I can be thankful that you're able to like have classes and be open and have still this really good product that people are coming back for still.
Super thankful.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the flyers too. I also had to learn that here when I started with my events. I started printing out flyers and I was like, this is crazy.
Somebody told me to go tape up flyers at the playground about my kids' yoga class. And I was like, really? I'm like, outside?
But it works.
And then it did. Like people bring in
I saw
your flyer at the Munich Freiheit Spielplatz. And I'm like, great.
It's crazy. Yeah, I also had to get used to that. When I first started, I was like, okay, you can have a great product. You can get all, like, I think my one problem was event or real estate, like you said. And as soon as I had that, I was like, okay, everything's sorted. We're good to go. And then I was like, wait, where are the people? I need to find the people now. They need to know about it. So it is a struggle in learning how to adapt in the environment that you're in that works.
There were many classes that I had awkwardly like one person coming, and I would be like, it's okay. It's not awkward. We're good. I'm like, we can just think of this as a private.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it always takes time. And then I think as soon as people hear about it and they come back and then they're very loyal, that's like even better. So you grow from that, and it's first challenges of most businesses. But cool. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So I guess now maybe it could still be COVID related or unrelated, But now that you kind of say what the past challenges are, what are your next steps maybe to assimilate or moving forward, or even not even COVID related, like how, if you wanted to grow or if you're very happy with where you are, like what are the next steps or focuses for you and your studio?
Yeah. So I think for the studio, not really COVID related, just because this was kind of like my future plan before all of that happened, was to kind of solidify the Munich Collective as a yoga place. Because being a rentable studio, I think it can get a bit, what's happening there? What is going on at the Munich Collective? And so I would like to get into more yoga teacher trainings, yoga teacher workshops, and things like that. And I really feel strongly that would also just grow our yoga community here, because now I've had Kidding Around Yoga coming and doing their teacher workshops here since I opened. They were one of my first renters, actually having a teacher training here. And it's always so lovely to come in and network and meet these people. And you just find out, okay, there's another kids yoga teacher like living down the block. And hey, do you want to come have a class? So that's one of my goals, is to have some more teacher trainings and come up with a really a nice program where I'm using the local assets that we have here and doing that. And then just continuing to have fun, challenging, exciting classes here, and not always taught by Melissa. I want more teachers coming in the door. And
but it's true.
It's I'm teaching 8 to 10 classes a week, and with privates and things like that, it's a lot. And but it's important to me that the people that come in are continuing with my message or my goal, and that is, you welcome everybody and you treat everybody the same. So I would guess that would be my biggest future goal for the Munich Collective, is to kind of grow that way.
Cool. That's very good to hear. I mean, even hearing what you have to say, I want to have teacher programs there. I think there isn't. You're right there. Okay, I'm going to look into and ask you afterwards. But no, it's true. I don't think there is a consistent, which I find with my events company, like having a consistency, but a consistent, I don't know, expat or English speaking yoga training programs, or like a go-to where they can feel comfortable. And there is such a big difference between going to a class every day or an event every weekend versus going, like, I think students, it's a really cool community to have when students are coming for a training program and they're super into it. They want to learn. And then they also are able to you're coming for a few days, if not longer, and really meeting the people you're working with, like the other students and the teachers. So it's it's definitely a nice experience. Good to know. Okay, we advertise that. Have your training programs at Munich Collective.
Please. Okay. That's my goal.
Awesome. That's really cool. And it's COVID friendly. So you just make sure everybody's safe before, and you're learning while you go.
It's a top priority. I mean, having my husband, so my husband's a physician, I'm a nurse, we're a medical background. It's very, very important that we keep everyone safe.
Sense.
I mean,
that's cool. It's good to have that expertise then on top of everything going on. Like,
it was
probably be one of the only studios I trust the most then.
It was helpful. I mean, I would
say. Yeah, for sure. And then you're trained, so if anything happens on the go.
Yeah, I can perform CPR right here if I need to. It's always been like, it's like a fear of mine that I'm like, oh my God, but you'd be in the right place.
Yeah. So funny. Okay, so then maybe something on a lighter subject. We change gears, and I just ask, what's your favorite kind of class? It sounds like, okay, you're focused on workshops, but you're also teaching a lot. 8 classes is a lot on the body, I think. Even for me, I was also teaching like maybe 12, 15 times a week, and it was too much, I think. So out of all the classes you're teaching, though, what is your favorite class to give, whether it's a certain subject or private versus a group or event. Favorite class to teach or take or both.
Okay, that's a super hard question, first of all. I mean, I'll start with the easy one. What's my favorite class to take? And that is anything hot. I like hot yoga, hot Pilates, hot sculpt, hot. I mean, like, I love it. And that was, I debated opening a hot studio and doing well with that. I know. And
nice.
But I like anything that is challenging physically. I want to work my muscles. I want to work my body, but I also want to, challenge myself in my yoga poses and postures and taking it to the next level. And so that's an easy question to answer. What's my favorite class to teach? That's really, really hard because every class requires a different Melissa to show up, if that makes sense. Like, and I love each and every one for different reasons. I like coming in and having to mellow and teach in. And it also is that class where I feel like I can most give that nurturing, caring Melissa to that person. But like on Saturdays, I teach a crazy HIIT fusion class that allows me to be that high energy, motivated, like, you can do this. Let's keep going.
Sounds fun. Yeah.
Yeah. And so
it's tough. They both sound really good.
right. So I would say, what are my favorite classes to teach? At the moment, I would give it to the fusion class because it's the most challenging to plan because it's everything. It's all what I do. And, it's the most physically taxing. So I'll just say that. That's an easy answer. But
okay. But then we have the second favorite too. So you also snuck it in there. But sounds good. I actually want to maybe take one of your yin classes. I need to come by. Always could use some nurturing yin in my life.
Hey, I miss the days where I was like rubbing. So in the end of my classes before COVID, you give the like hot oil rub on the neck and the shoulders.
I know. I come for the massages for sure.
I just want to be able to do that. Is that weird? I don't know.
I also like to too because people love it. So it's like
they love it.
I love it and they love it. So,
but you get something from it, right? I used to come home and I would tell my husband, I was like, God, it almost seems a bit like it's not unfair, but you're getting something out of this practice by teaching. But then when you connect on that level, it was it was a treat. So
Aww.
Come to Yin and come to your teacher training here.
I know. I look at the schedule after this. Okay, awesome. Okay, so I think we have time for one more question.
Okay.
I ask you, most importantly, how do you define a hero or a role model?
A hero or a role model, I would say, is somebody that selflessly works passionately towards their goal with the greater good in mind and remains humble and kind. A lot of adjectives, but I would say, that kind of wraps it up because all of that could, apply in so many different arenas or areas of life. But I think that would be it in a nutshell.
Oh, beautiful. Very powerful. It's very descriptive. So I don't think you can get, because this term can be so vague or general, but when you not have these conditions, but are clear with like, it makes sense you could be this overall role model, but when you're doing it for a better reason and like how you do it is what really makes the difference. So I think that is all our time today, unless you want to give any other advice. One last question. Any advice to anybody else starting their business or trying to make things happen or their dreams? Or
I would love to give some advice, and that is don't get bogged down by the little details. There's going to be little details that are going to overwhelm you when you're starting something new or something unknown. And if I would have quit in the beginning when I didn't know how something was going to either work itself out or turn out, I would have quit before we even got the doors open. And so I would say, keep the big picture in mind, and you're going to have to work hard. But usually that pays off. And I truly believe that. I truly believe that if you work hard towards something, you're going to get something good from it. Maybe the idea of success will change, but you'll get something from it.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I guess that would be my advice.
Oh, beautiful. Work hard, but work selflessly too.
Yeah, right.
And
it's hard. That's hard.
Yeah.
Be humble, be kind. I mean, that was like the most important thing, I think, working in an inner city emergency room, was you cannot judge a book by its cover. You cannot, you must remain humble and kind, and you never know what somebody's carrying with them when they come in the door. Yeah. And it could be, your next best friend or instructor or business partner. Yeah. You just don't know. Yeah. And we all have our bad moments or our bad days or whatever. And I mean, I do too. Hey, but it's kind of like, hey, let's, not everyone has to deal with that. So
yeah, very true. At the end of the day, we're all human. So treating each other like humans and doing the right thing. It's very nice. Okay, perfect. Okay, I think that was everything. So thank you again, Melissa, unless you have anything else to say or any questions.
No, thanks for having me. It was fun.
Yeah, of course. So like you asked earlier, I know you were asking about some of the products. For anybody else who is interested in finding out more about Yoga Hero, you can visit the website to see their cool or recyclable or eco-friendly yoga mats and products, clothes, everything like that at yoga-hero.com. And other than that, you can also visit Melissa's studio, the Munich Collective. You'll have to search, not too difficult, but probably will be able to find it. The Munich Collective in Munich.
You'll be able to find it.
Maybe all those things. After this session. So other than that, thanks again for tuning in. Thanks for joining. And thanks for being a part of this, everybody else as well. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Be a Hero podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, feel free to follow us and leave a review. To learn more about our eco-friendly yoga collection and our projects, visit yoga-hero.com. We hope you have a great day, and let us all use our superpowers to create a greater world.